I welcome you all to the session of hydraulic machines, and today we shall discuss about the application of Stodder's model, and we will see that to calculate slip Stodder's model is used, and finally, we will see that from the problem statement itself we can understand whether we need to apply the Stodder's slip model or not. So, basically if we now discuss, but before I go to solve that problem, if we can recall correctly, in the previous class we could not derive the expression of slip velocity following Stodder's model, and that is because of the limitation of time. So, today what we will do first we will try to establish the Stodder's slip velocity, then using the same expression we shall try to work out a numerical problem, and from there we will understand that from the problem statement itself we can understand whether we need to apply the Stodder's model, to be precise, whether the problem is giving an indication to consider the slip or not. Okay. Now, what we have understood from the previous classes, that slip is there, and we have discussed one by one, that is the effect of the resultant force that is acting on the convex surface of the blade. Sometimes it is also known as forward surface of the blade. Then we have discussed that the presence of, rather the onset of recirculation across the blade is responsible to the eddies which will be formed in the flow passage, definitely that is the passage between two consecutive blades, and once the eddies or eddy is getting formed, that eddy will try to move in the direction of flow, and eventually when the eddy will come at the outer circumference of the impeller, that survival of the eddy will try to extract somewhat amount of energy from the mean flow, which will eventually result in a slip, and that is what we have discussed. Now, if we try to recall that, so what we will do first, we will try to derive that, rather though we have understood qualitatively the existence of eddy, like what we have discussed in the previous classes. Also we have seen that the rotationality effect which is giving rise to a particular force on the convex surface of the blade, and because of which that recirculation is formed. Now, we have seen that there are many rather different models, and different models have tried to quantify the slip velocity, but again I am telling, in this class we will be discussing, rather we will try to quantify the slip velocity following Stodder's model. Why we are going to stick to the Stodder's model, though there are many models available, Stodder, which is the earliest one, which Stodder proposed that the existence of relative eddy is responsible for the reduction of all important wall component of velocity at the outlet, and that is nothing but the slip. Okay. So, following Stodder's model, so if I write Stodder's model, right. Now, so following Stodder's model, slip is due to existence of relative eddy. In the flow passage. Being formed in the flow passage, right. So, that means whether it is, if we try to find out, this is definitely due to the resultant force which is acting on the pressure side of the blade, that is the convex surface of the blade. The recirculation, that is what we have discussed in the last class, recirculation across the blade. All these are, whether we are trying to find out the existence of relative eddy due to the resultant force, or if we try to find out, or if we try to attribute the formation of relative eddy to the recirculation which is developed across the blade, which is initiated across the blade, and that is again because of the pressure difference. Okay. What Stadler proposed is that, say if we try to draw an impeller of a radial flow form. So, if we draw so, this impeller is rotating in the direction as shown in this schematic. Now, what Stadler proposed, that if a frictionless fluid is passing through the impeller, then the fluid will not have rotation. So, if a frictionless fluid passes this, if a frictionless fluid passing through the impeller without rotation, then it must leave the impeller without rotation. Try to understand what I am telling. I am telling, if a frictionless fluid is passing through the impeller without rotation, then it must leave the impeller without rotation. Why I am going to discuss? See, here I am trying to highlight these two words, that is relative eddy. Now, so there is no question of the formation of eddies when a frictionless fluid is passing through the impeller. Question is, the eddy will form when a fluid, a viscous fluid is passing through the impeller and when frictional effect is there. If you try to recall that in one of the previous classes we have discussed that losses due to separation, friction and wake formation, and also we have discussed that one particular effect is not due to the friction, and that is why it is not loss, right. I mean, just I have discussed in one of my last previous classes, and if you try to recall, you will find out, but that follows from the ideal flow analysis of pressure and velocity distribution. Fine. So, this is what now Stadler, when Stadler, I mean, it was proposed that a frictionless fluid, if it passes through the impeller without rotation, that means it must leave without having rotation. But question is, when impeller is rotating in this direction, and we have discussed, I mean, if I try to write using different color, that now, I mean, if we take these two blade, So, these two blades if we consider for the analysis, then we have discussed that there will be a recirculation across the blade, right. So, that is what we have discussed. Now, you can understand that so this is there will be a circulation across the blade in this direction, and that is what we have discussed because of the velocity difference, and that is definitely due to the pressure difference. Okay. Now, when the fluid is passing through the impeller, you can understand the fluid layer which is close to this blade. Say if we give the name, this is blade A and this is blade B. So, the fluid molecules, fluid layer which is on the convex surface of blade A will have a tendency to have a downward movement, while the fluid molecules or fluid layer which is on the concave surface of blade B will have a tendency to go up. So, the fluid molecules have a tendency to go down in this side, on the convex surface of blade A. On the other hand, fluid molecules have a tendency to go off on the concave surface of blade B, as a result of which what will happen, these eddies will form. So, you can understand the eddies which is getting formed in the flow passage, which is in the opposite direction to the pump impeller, right, and the circulation motion will be creating when the pump or the impeller is rotating in the clockwise direction. So, what we can see, that means when the impeller is rotating at an angular velocity omega, due to the recirculation there is a formation of eddy, or there is formation of eddies, right. So, there is eddy or eddies, there is, I mean we can say, at least for the timing we have taken only one eddy. So, there is a eddy which is being formed in the flow passage, and the eddy will try to have rotation which is in the opposite direction of the pump impeller. So, now that is called relative eddy. So, that means as if the eddy which is getting formed in the flow passage will have a circulatory motion, and that is relative to the impeller motion, right, and that is why it is called relative eddy. Now, Stadler proposed that the existence of relative eddy, maybe the eddy is formed because of the recirculation and the rich fluid dynamics, that is what we have discussed, but the existence of relative eddy is responsible for the slip. Not only that, as that is what I have discussed, that eddy which is getting formed over here, with time the eddy will try to go up in the direction of flow, rather with the flow. So, with the flow eddy where it is getting formed, but eddy will move from that particular position to the outer circumference of the impeller. When the eddy is occupying the space at the outer circumference of the impeller, we have discussed that for the survival of the eddy it will extract energy from the mean flow, as a result of which what will happen, when the eddy is occupying the outer circumference of the blade, it will try to extract energy, and the eventual consequence is the reduction of all important world component of velocity, and that is nothing but slip. Okay. So, what we have understood, when eddy is at the impeller that is slip. So, this is what I have discussed. So, when eddy is at the outer circumference of the impeller, it will try to extract energy from the mean flow for its survival, and the consequence is that it will reduce. So, the formation of eddies or the onset of eddies at the outer circumference of the impeller will reduce the all important world component of velocity at the outlet of the impeller and will result in slip. Okay. So, now today quickly we will discuss what is that. So, if we try to discuss, right. So, let me discuss, let me draw the schematic depiction. So, basically this is the if I now try to draw the velocity triangle at the outlet, sorry, okay, and say this is W2, right, and this angle is beta 2, this is C2 and this is U2. Okay. Now, if I use again red color, so basically, so this angle is again beta 2 from the geometry, and say this is E. Okay. So, if I give a name, say this point is 1, 2, 3, right, and so basically we have, so if I use green color, so we have circulation. We have circulation. Okay. So, this is circulation, that is what we have shown in the previous slide. Okay. So, you can understand from this depiction what I told in the last class as well as just in the beginning of this class, that when a small eddy which is formed here. So, let me erase it and I can draw the eddy using red color. So, one eddy will form here initially and that eddy will have relative movement. So, this is the eddy, right. So, this is the eddy. So, basically when the impeller is rotating with an angular velocity omega, then the fluid, this is not the frictionless fluid. So, the fluid which is passing through the impeller will have a rotation relative to the impeller, and that is minus omega. So, when the impeller is rotating at an angular velocity omega, fluid passing through the impeller must have a rotation relative to impeller, right, and that is minus omega. And so, that this is what we have discussed. So, you forget about the circulation because we have understood the physics. So, the recirculation across the blade is giving rise to this rotation. Now, Stadler proposed fine, because this is again when the impeller is rotating with an angular velocity omega. So, the fluid particle which is passing through the impeller will have, due to the recirculation zone, will have a rotation relative to the impeller, that is minus omega, and this is the relative eddy. Right. So, this is what proposed by Stadler, the existence of relative eddy. We have understood that eddy will form due to the recirculation which is there across the blade, but Stadler proposed it that if a fluid is passing through the impeller and the impeller is rotating with an angular velocity omega, then the fluid must have a rotation relative to the impeller, that is minus omega, that is the relative eddy. Now, what we have understood that when the eddy is getting formed, if we consider only one eddy, so there is a eddy, that is what we can see from the schematic depiction and from our understanding. Now, the eddy which is getting formed over here, because there is a continuous flow in this direction, right. So, the eddy which is getting formed will survive in the flow field, and while it is moving with the flow in the outward direction, once upon a time it will come here, that is at the outer circumference of the impeller, right. So, basically, so this is the eddy which is getting formed. For the survival of the eddy, it will extract energy from the mean flow. As the flow field, the flow is there from inlet to the outlet, eddy which is getting formed also will move in the direction of flow. When the eddy is coming at the outer circumference of the impeller, and so this is the eddy movement, and if we consider the maximum or largest eddy which can be inscribed at the outer circumference of the impeller between two blades is having diameter E. Try to understand. The largest eddy which can be inscribed at the outer circumference of the pump or impeller between two consecutive blades is having diameter E. So, the largest eddy which can be inscribed between two blades at the outer circumference of the impeller has diameter E. Then Stadler proposed the slip velocity. So, largest eddy which may be inscribed between two adjacent blades has diameter E, right. So, I mean we do not know. So, eddy will eventually come over here at the outer circumference of the impeller, and if we consider this is the largest eddy which may be inscribed between two adjacent blade at the outer circumference, and the eddy is having diameter E, then Stadler proposed the slip velocity So, if we go to the slip velocity Vs, so this is what we would like to calculate. So, Stadler proposed slip velocity Vs equal omega into E by 2, right. So, if we go there, basically this is nothing but, so we know that, so basically we know that what is omega, that is, or omega into r equal to u. So, this is the slip velocity omega into E by 2, where E is the diameter of the largest eddy. Okay. So, now just I have drawn, so this is the outlet triangle. So, this is the outlet velocity triangle, you can see this is the relative velocity. So, this is the blade outlet, this is the absolute velocity, and this is the tangential component of velocity. Now, this is the blade angle beta 2. If we consider the triangle 1, 2, 3, you can understand. So, this angle is again beta 2 from the geometry itself. So, can't we write, so this distance you can understand this distance, if from this triangle just we can write that, and what we can write, that this E by this. So, we can write E equal to what I can write, this 1 3, that 1 3 can be approximated this length of circumference at the outlet between two adjacent blades, right, though it is not exactly equal, but we can write. So, what is that? So, if we write, this is A and this is A prime, right. So, A prime is twice pi R2, right, by Z, if there is Z number of blades. Okay. So, this is twice pi R2 divided by Z, when there is Z number of blades. So, basically what we can write from this triangle, that this by this, that is equal to sin beta 2. So, E is equal to twice pi R2 by Z sin beta 2. So, this is what I have written, right. Now, you can understand that I have given almost equal, right. So, this is not equal, because this is the approximation what we have considered, that the length 1 3 can be approximated by the length, or the length 1 3 can be approximated to the length of A prime, this segment. So, the length 1 3 is approximated to the length length of the segment A prime here, and which is nothing but twice pi R2 by Z. So, that is the E. Now, question is, then what is slip velocity, right. So, the slip velocity, because our objective is to calculate slip velocity, right. So, if we try to plug in the value of slip velocity, so this Vs is nothing but omega, and that is nothing but u2 by, so omega is equal to u by R2, right. So, omega is equal to u2 by R2 into E by 2, that is pi r 2 sin beta 2 divided by z, right. So, we can understand the slip velocity is equal to pi u 2 sin beta 2 divided by z, right. In fact, this is the expression of slip velocity that we have written, right. So, you can understand just by plugging the value of E from this expression into the expression of slip velocity and writing omega is equal to u r 2 in is equal to u 2, we are getting this expression, right. So, you can understand this is the expression of slip velocity we have used perhaps in one of the previous classes, and this expression though we have used without having proper derivation, but in today we have established it. Only one approximation that is there, that we have tried to approximate the length of 1 3 to the length of the segment A prime, and that is nothing but the length of the circumference at the outlet, and if the total circumference is 2 pi r 2. Now, if there are z number of blades, then that is nothing but by z. So, and also this triangle 1 2 3, which is if we consider the triangle 1 2 3 and the velocity triangle at the outlet, from there just by applying trigonometric relationship we have established this expression. So, this is the expression which is used to calculate slip velocity in most of the numerical problems. In fact, we will be discussing one numerical problem, and there we will try to discuss that from the problem statement itself we can understand whether the slip can be this slip velocity we need to apply, whether the effect of slip is still applicable to that problem or not. So, that is what is very important to understand. If in most of the problem it is not explicitly given that we need to apply the slip velocity while calculating the head that will be developed by the pump, but from the problem statement itself we can calculate what will be the slip velocity, I mean whether we need to apply slip velocity or not, and that part we will be discussing in the next class. So, with this I stop my discussion today and we will continue in the next class. Thank you.